Have you ever dreamed of being the lord or lady of a medieval city, vibrant and bustling with life and activity? I know I have, and luckily that dream can finally come true with the release of Manor Lords, a strategy game for PC that combines deep, organic, and realistic city building with large-scale tactical battles. This game, handcrafted by a solo developer, tries to give the RTS builder game genre a fresh kind of spin, and it uses the Unreal Engine, so it looks beautiful, and it's one of the most immersive games that I have played in a very long while. Maybe it's the Manor Lord's attention to detail, but there is something about it that keeps me playing for hours. Yes, the game is in early access with bugs, and some of the features aren't fully accessible or working quite yet, but it's got such incredible atmosphere and it kind of fills that void for a strategy builder game just perfectly. It's like something that I've been wanting and I didn't know that I wanted. It could just be that it just makes that dream come true, at least for the time you spend in that medieval world. See, Manor Lords is on Steam and the PC Xbox Game Pass, and I highly recommend checking it out. I also invite you to join me on a journey of survival, a story about a village. Will it survive the winters to come and become an economic power and thrive? Or will it fall to ruin and decay? Find out on my Manor Lords playthrough, and maybe throughout the journey, you might decide that you want to try this game as well. Anywho, so we're going to be playing Manor Lords today, and we're gonna go, and it's gonna be a good time, and I think it'll be fun, right? I love the selection of portraits; those are good. But anyway, I wanted to give this game a try and just kind of start out and see how things go. The story of any Manor Lords game starts with the designing of your coat of arms. For me, I wanted something that was representative of my legions in my channel, with the 3 crescent moons and the colors. It made for a very busy crest, but I rather like it. If you're curious about what those legions are all about, be sure to check out my live streams. How many crescent or moon-like things are there on this? An older form of marshalling, combination of 2 coats of arms into one by cutting them in the middle, half dog, half horse, why not? It was mentioned to me that perhaps I would spend more time designing my crest than my villagers would survive. One thing about Manor Lords is that it can be a very cozy, very comfortable game to play, where you can just sink hours and hours into it, but can also very quickly go all sorts of wrong, and your little peasants will live lives of pain and suffering. Okay, so I started with a little campsite, 3 little tents, and 5 families, all living exposed to the elements, with just a few resources to start. Manor Lords is not a procedurally generated map, but it does randomize the resources and the location of where your first settlement starts. Luckily for me, we started off in a fairly nice location, a nice little hill, close to some really good deposits of resources. But this is cozy, a new message. Build up your town, your manor, and when ready, press claims towards regions owned by your opponents. Once a claim has been pressed, be ready for battle. I'll unite these lands under my rule. Mwahaha! In Manor Lords, families need food, fuel, and roof above their heads to survive. Supplies in the region panel above shows how much you've got left. Skip all future tutorials. Oh no, I am not going to do that. Got it. This is so cozy though.
A fresh start for me and my own.
It's a little field. I love how this game doesn't tell me anything. A lot of homeless people. Need to be moved to a granary. Okay. Some workplaces allow villagers to use handcarts to transport up to 10 goods at once. However, pulling a handcart off-road is extremely slow, so make sure to connect your buildings to roads. And construction. Every region in Manor Lords has strengths and weaknesses. Be sure to check all the resource deposits as well as investigate the soil fertility before deciding on the direction of your town. If your region has weak fertility, consider setting up trade early. I quickly realized that timber is going to be a very important resource in which you need to build new structures, so I was quick to make a logger's camp so that we could fell trees in order to provide the timber we needed to continue constructing the village. I guess we'll just clear out these over here, right? That'll be fine. Can I rotate these? Oh, I can't rotate these. Thinking ahead, I also began construction on the farmhouse because I knew I wanted fields to harvest grain for my people. But farming in the medieval ages was a complex thing. It took a lot of effort and work, and you needed a team of oxen to plow fields. Otherwise, you'd have to do it by hand. And that is quite the endeavor, especially in those times. Can you imagine working under the sun, toiling away at some soil, only to get the rewards much later in the year, and not immediately? So perhaps farming might not be something you want to focus on at the very beginning of your time in Manor Lords. It might be something towards the end. A late endeavor. But I was committed. I really wanted to grow grains for my people. A farmhouse employs families who work on the fields. The workforce is distributed proportionally in accordance with the field's set priority level. When crops are growing, they absorb certain nutrients from the soil, temporarily lowering its fertility and thus diminishing yields over time. To combat this, consider changing your crop types, or even better, leaving the field fallow for a year. Okay. Okay. Okay, then we need some houses. Let's get some houses going, shall we? With the storehouse and the granary finally built up, the village started to come to life a little more. Aha! A well-supplied marketplace is the lifeblood of your town. Assigned families will set up stalls automatically as long as there's enough space on the market. However, over specified categories to check your current supply and demand, burgage plots closest to the market, their market requirements fulfilled first. Got it. I really like this idea, this building a community that your people would grow and build. Unfortunately, I had realized that weeks and weeks had gone by and still there was no housing for my people. Homeless people's tents, okay. But things take time in Manor Lords. It is not so quick and easy. Can you name a chicken farmer after me? Of course, Pocket, we will do that. Do I get access to that later? Some of the early storms that came across were quite a lot. I also realized it was difficult to prioritize things. As this being my first village, I didn't know what I should be constructing first. I am glad that I was able to get the granary and the storehouse built, because these storms would have destroyed resources. What was really nice about this region was that resources were close by. My people did not have to transport their goods too far in order to construct. Plus, there's so much to do, so much to build and focus on. It's a little overwhelming, actually. Industries, we have smithy, bloomery. Okay. I can't do a manor yet. Some cosmetic things that I can build. Okay, so we have the marketplace. We have a church as well. Fulfills level of faith requirement for the burgage and plots. Provides hallowed ground for burial of the dead. Villagers, workers become grave diggers. Oh. Okay, I'm about to have these people no longer be... Yes, settlement level increased. We're a small village now, yay! To get more population, you need to have enough empty burgage plots, and your approval needs to be over 50%. Oh. 5 houses for 5 families, and having housing allowed for the villagers to then store military equipment, you know, in case of defending the land. A strong militia is paramount to the survival of any settlement. Luckily, a shipment of weapons has just arrived, and you will now be able to create your first militia banners to serve you and protect your people. However, we will need more weapons to equip all the people as the settlement grows, either by making them or importing them from other lands. Let's form the militia. With May coming around, I finally felt comfortable expanding the village. Seeing if we can attract another family to come move in, I created another plot of land to build a house. This one had a little bit of extra room for an expansion. This could be anything from chickens to an orchard, a garden, and later on it looks like there is going to be room for artisans and other specialty services. I regret not adding expansions for the other houses. Nobody lives here yet. Oh, I can't wait though. Number of months before supplies run out. Plot consumes food, one food and one per month, one fuel per month. In the winter is double digit. Some workplaces consume fuel per month as well. Okay, food 5 months, fuel 2 months. Okay, so we don't have enough fuel. Got it. But it's the summer, so it's fine. Perhaps I was fortunate. Nothing seemed to have gone wrong in the first few months of this new world. So, to better the lives of my people, I chose to then lay the plans down for a church, so that the people can have their church services. It was June, and the summer had already begun, and I assigned a couple families to tend to the fields in hopes that perhaps maybe we could get a crop going. I chose to plant wheat in the fields with the dream of maybe getting bread for the winter. Manor Lords is a slow-paced game, and time will tell if it was a waste of resources to begin farming so early. I guess in hindsight, I will start the farms earlier than what I did. Because I feel like, even though it's June, I feel like this is late to get started for planting. Because then you have July and August to grow, which is 2 months, and I don't know if that's long enough. Because then September comes and you start harvesting it all. I watched as the church foundations and structure slowly rose, while I considered expanding the village even further. 18 people call this little place home, and I find it to be a very cozy little world. But I notice that I'm running low on firewood, and this concerns me. Do I begin to fear the winter? Yes, this is going up very nicely. We're missing one more stone, but that's okay, because they have it somewhere. It's just being transported, right? And at last, July saw the completion of the church, and the conclusion of the first chapter of my Manor Lords story. This little village on a hill seems to be doing well, but it may have an uncertain future, and I just don't know. Okay, then they can work on the logging camp, and that's fine. Church is done. Who is working the church? Neat. What do you think of Manor Lords so far? For me, it's a very immersive experience. One that really kind of transports you to this medieval world filled with rich detail and historical inspiration and influences. But one that can also turn very poorly. I've seen stories of other villages that have suffered tremendously due to poor planning or unfortunate events. Luckily, I think I'm gonna be good, but we will see. I'll make another video and update on the rest of the year and see if my people can survive the winter. Be sure to check out my Twitch channel where I go live every Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. I do a variety of different games, but I'll be playing Manor Lords. So if you want to see my village grow and evolve, be sure to check out those streams. Link is in the description below. I'm the Dusk Cerberus, and this is my new dominion. Thank you for watching the video, and I'll see you in the next story.